It happened on an ordinary Wednesday evening. I had just finished a design project and was ready to reward myself with a quiet cup of tea when the lights went out. At first I thought it was a brief power flicker. Nairobi is full of those. But after 10 minutes the silence grew heavier. The hum of refrigerators, the buzz of television sets, even the distant music from my neighbor's radio disappeared. The whole estate seemed to sigh at once. I reached for my phone, hopping to check Twitter for updates, but of course the Wi-Fi was gone. My battery was already at 15%, and I knew better than to waste it. That's when I remembered my grandmother's old lantern tucked away in a corner of my kitchen shelf. It was small, made of brass and glass with a handle shaped like a half-moon. I hadn't used it in years. I dusted it off, poured in some paraffin and struck a match. The flame came alive slowly, casting a soft golden glow across my tiny apartment. The light was warm, almost comforting. I sat down by the window, watching as other houses across the compound flickered with candles and phone flashlights. There was something peaceful about it, as if the whole neighborhood had been forced to pause. Children's laughter echoed from the courtyard below. Someone started humming a gospel song, and for the first time in weeks I didn't feel like rushing anywhere. Then came a knock at my door. It was a steady, polite tap, not the impatient kind. I hesitated, a little cautious. Through the peephole I saw my neighbor from across the hallway, Malik. We exchanged polite nods before, but never spoken more than a hi. He was holding a candle stub in one hand and smiling in the dim corridor light. "Sorry to bother you," he said when I opened the door slightly. "Do you happen to have an extra candle? Mine just burned out." His voice was calm, low, and unhurried. I nodded and went back inside to fetch one from my drawer. As I handed it to him, the lantern light reflected in his eyes. "Thanks," he said, "I owe you one." "Don't mention it," I replied. He gave a small wave and walked back to his flat. The door closed and silence settled again. I looked around my softly glowing room and smiled to myself. Nairobi was dark that night, but somehow it didn't feel lonely. Maybe a little light, even a borrowed one, could make the world feel less empty. The power didn't come back the next day. By evening, most people in the estate had accepted their fate. Some grumbled, others laughed it off, and a few gathered in small groups outside to share stories. I spent the day working offline, sketching new logo ideas on paper, something I hadn't done in ages. Without the distractions of screens and notifications, the hours passed quietly. The air felt different, slower, almost calm. Just as I was lighting my lantern again, there was another knock at my door. I didn't need to check who it was this time. Somehow I already knew. When I opened the door, Malik stood there, holding the same candle I'd given